As you progress through your seasons of Football Manager, especially if you're doing a Journeyman save, you know that there are a ton of decisions that you need to make each and every year. Who to play, who to bring in, who to sell. Well, sometimes those decisions, well, they're made for you. And hello again, everyone. This is episode number 78 of Bottom to the Top. I'm Mr. Cellophane, and one of those decisions has been made for us. Melvin Costa is now a member of Newcastle. He had a £72 million release clause. Now, if you remember, way back a number of episodes ago when we signed him and we agreed to the release clause because we didn't buy him for all that much. I think it was like maybe 19 million when Ipswich got relegated before this most recent season, or the season before, I forget which one it was. And I was like, hey, if somebody's going to pay me 72 million, then fantastic. Because at the time, we were punting on Melvin Costa because we didn't play wingers, and really that's the only position he could play. Sure, we tried him out at striker a couple of times, but mixed results, I think, is the best way to describe that. Well, Newcastle came in, activated his £72 million release clause. We attempted to sign him to a new contract in order to entice him to stay. He would not talk to us. So now he's making £145,000 a week. The 23-year-old is now a Magpie, which now leaves our transfer budget at just about $95.5 million. Now, you may be asking yourself, wait a minute. You were just under $3 million last time. 3 plus 72, and assuming we got all 72. I'm sure there was a solidarity payment or something in there. Does not equal $95 million. Well, that's not the only move we've made so far. And by the way, we're doing all of this with about 4 days left in the transfer window. We've also parted company with 22-year-old Gabriel Amaya. He went 24 matches without finally scoring a goal in an FA Cup clash against lesser competition. So 1 goal on the year. We decided, you know what? He just ain't worth it anymore. He's off to Burnley. In fact, we're about to see him again. Long time no see, Gabriel. £23 million. The final deal. I think we bought him for $5 million, so another good piece of business for Fulham. Hopefully, this is going to put us a little bit closer to meeting our financial goals for the year. In fact, quickly coming back to the finances screen, you see that we are currently on pace to make a profit of just under $5 million this season. Now, you may wonder, does that mean that we are not going to bring anybody in to replace them? Have you met me? We have had an offer accepted for 23-year-old Portuguese winger/striker Alfonso Moutinho. We're going to be getting him from Manchester City. $38 million is going to be the price tag. Bit raw. He's got a ton of potential. Those physicals are just fantastic. Yes, his jumping reach isn't exactly where we would love it to be. His passing, dribbling, finishing, his technique, flair, all very good. Highly determined player. He's driven. He already knows the language. Very balanced mentality. Loves big matches. And he's also very versatile. So we think he's going to fit in quite nicely with this squad. Hopefully, he pays off dividends once he shows up. We do have one final potential move out in the works, and that is for Andre Lucas Gudjonsson, the 29-year-old striker. Even with Amaya moving out, just really has not found his place in the squad. Future fees totaling around $18.25 million, going out on loan until the end of the year if he plays 15 matches for his new club, which would be Troy, by the way. If the deal does go through, that is when we are going to start seeing our cash. We were also able to bring in a new, young, and raw striker from the Bayern Munich Academy, or at least their youth setup. 19-year-old German-English dual national Charlie Huttert. He's got fantastic finishing. He's naturally fit, stands at 6 foot, 163 pounds. Could stand to bulk up a little bit. He isn't quite Premier League ready. He could potentially be a very good player in the Premier League. His movement is fantastic, professional personality. Love a lot about this kid, and he's pretty cheap. We got him for 475,000. Even if he doesn't work out, he's got a pretty decent value. We can pull in 12, 15 million for him. That, again, would not be bad business for our cash-strapped team. How have we fared, you might ask, since our last episode? Not great, not bad, but not great. We ended up dropping a 2-0 decision to Manchester City. In the FA Cup, we are doing pretty well. We'll cover that before we get back to the league. Wins against Crawley Town at home and Tranmere Rovers on the road, 3 and 2-0 respectively. Kim Young-suk turning out to be quite the goal scorer in the midfield if we move him into that more attacking position that is normally occupied by Tom Burford. He's gotten the start in each of the cup matches in that spot. We may have to give him a little bit more playing time there. We did bounce back though, and we finally beat Arsenal for the first time. 1-0 was your score, and it was this goal from Tom Burford in the 20th minute that put us ahead. What a beautiful feed through. Burford in one-on-one on Ramsdale, Omega providing the assist, and that was able to hold up. It didn't hurt that Gabriel Jesus went off injured in the 80th minute, and Arsenal chose to go down to 10 men for that period of time. So lucky for us, we were able to hang on and finally beat Arsenal, who at the time was sitting at the top of the table. Unfortunately, that would be the last win we enjoyed in the league in the month of January. I mean, we still have 2 January matches left, but you know what I'm saying. Only the 1 January victory came against Arsenal because we then dropped consecutive decisions 2-1 and 3-2 to Everton and Sunderland respectively. It was actually in that Sunderland match that Gabriel Amaya scored in the 69th minute, his first goal all season long. In both of these matches, we found ourselves leading late before giving up late goals to cede those all-important points. Generally speaking, though, we are having an incredible season. We are well above our expected point total from the board and the fans at this point, and we are currently sitting in a Europa League qualifying spot, just 3 points out of the Champions League. Manchester City finally able to overtake us, losing to them 2-0. Didn't hurt their cause. We are 2 points ahead of Tottenham, 4 over Newcastle and Sunderland, although there is only 10 points separating us from 12th, so we do need to keep the pedal to the metal and finish off as strong as possible. European football is almost a necessity for this Fulham club due to our current financial situation. Our stadium only seats 29,700. We cannot expand it any further, and with no money in the bank, the board is never going to approve a new stadium. Even though we are basically selling out-ish for most of the season, I don't think we're going to get a bigger ground, so the potential for us to make money really has to lie in those European competitions. And I think if we are unable to get to that point, we may have to consider ourselves having done everything we can with Fulham Football Club and potentially look to continue our journey elsewhere. But that is a concern for another day as we get set to head down to Turf Moor and take on a Burnley team currently sitting 16th in the Premier League. Shavlina, who suffered a bit of an injury earlier on in the month, is back to full fitness. He's going to be in there. Federico Guerrero is off with the Argentine U23, so he is unavailable for this match. We're going to have a back four of guest Bichiabu, Akahomen, and Fresneda. Andre Blanco. Antonio Blanco is going to be at the base of the midfield behind Marco Morales and Tom Burford. Toshimitsu Endo, now with 4 goals on the season, has slotted in to the left wing spot in place of Guerrero. Omari Kellyman is going to get the start on the right-hand side, obviously pending our deal for our new right winger. And Emmanuel Omega with 6 goals on the year. He hadn't scored in a while, but he finally broke through in an earlier match. I think it was the one against Everton, if I'm not mistaken. He's going to be leading the line at striker, completing our attack. So after a run of 6 unbeaten in the Premier League, we have lost our last 2, hoping that we can bounce back against the bottom half side in Burnley. And so far, Burnley's had the momentum in their way. Although we have enjoyed 60% of the possession in the early going, we're just not really doing a whole heck of a lot with it. Let's see if we can convert on this corner kick. 16 minutes in, Morales looking near post. Can't pick out his man. Bichiabu will head it high. Endo settling it down. Blanco going for it from about 25 yards out. Everson needs to make the save and redirect one out behind the goal. So Morales is going to get a second opportunity here. This time he finds Akahoman, but Everson is up to the task. He'll grab that, hold on, and look to send it long. Dropping it down, punting it forward. Can he find Bernabe? No, Guest looking for Morales. Bandied about in the midfield. Marco Morales is going to eventually gain control. Endo dropping it back for Antonio Blanco. He's double teamed, so he will lay it to Bichiabu. Sent over for Fresneda, looking to invert in that wingback position. Akahoman, Burford, getting it back from Kellyman, going forward for Omega, and Omega beating the defense. And Everson for his 10th goal of the year. What a move. What a finish. Double digits once again for Emmanuel Omega. Tom Burford, quick pass to the outside. Kellyman giving it back, and then Burford finding a cutting Omega, who gets past his man, Del Prado, and puts it past Everson for the goal. 20 minutes have been played, and even though it was an early start for Burnley, it's been all Fulham, but Burnley looking to get things back. Gerzic taking it outside the box, dropping it for Neal, moving forward. He'll take a shot from about 22 yards out, and Shavlina doesn't even need to move for it. He knew it was going to sail over that crossbar. Now, they do have 2 games in hand on us, but if we hold on to this result, we will pull even with Manchester City on points. We can even move ahead of them on the table if we can break this goal difference tie. Both teams with a plus 20 so far on the season. We've played 24 matches, or at least this is our 24th. They've only played 22. We are winning 1-0, 5-3. Your shots on goal. Emmanuel Omega in the 17th minute. So far, the difference. 2 changes as we start the second half. Harvey Vale is going to replace an injured Alex Guest. Toshimitsu Endo, a little bit tired. He's been playing quite a bit, so Zidkiga Chandler is going to come in. Flicked on by Burford, and Emmanuel Omega right in front of the goal is going to score his second of the match, and it's against his former team. I did not know that Emmanuel Omega used to be with Burnley. Is that who we signed him from? See, these are the kind of things that I typically don't remember. If you did remember, let me know in the comments. I'd really appreciate it, because then I'll rely on you guys for my memory. On the attack again. This time, Neal is going to grab that one away. Steal it away is what I meant to say. Del Prado, Barbosa looking for Amaya. Bichiabu. Really, Football Manager? Really? That was a terrible back pass by Bichiabu, and it just gifts Gabriel Amaya. So in what I believe to be his first match in the claret and blue of Burnley, he scores a goal. Really, Football Manager? Just for that, Bichiabu is out of this game. We're going to bring Jair in, probably a little bit tired because he played the full 90 minutes of the last cup match against Tranmere Rovers. But he's going to be in there because Bichiabu, you have disappointed me. And you have disappointed me greatly. 75 minutes into this match, some fresh legs we're going to get out there. Eftichis Sokos has been playing very well when he comes in for those cup matches as well. He's going to make an appearance on the right wing. And Andre Lucas Gudjonsen is going to replace Omega up top. Omega, who had a bit of an injury over the last couple of weeks that he sustained a few weeks ago. Just recently back in. We don't want to risk him anymore. 2-1 is your score. Burnley leading Fulham. Bristol City with a 1-0 lead over Leeds. They could very well be going for their very first Premier League victory of the season. That's right. We're 24 weeks in, and they have not yet won. Could this be it for them? Part of me hopes not, because they are a potential opponent for us in the 5th round of the FA Cup. After we made it through past Tranmere, We're still waiting for the results of West Brom and Bristol City to come through. And with Bristol City on 7 points, it looks like they have won for the first time in 24 matches. Alfonso Moutinho has completed his move to Fulham Football Club, and he is going to be in the starting lineup at the right wing in this match. He's wearing the number 7, which used to belong to Melvin Costa, who, by the way, now plays for Newcastle, who we are taking on in this match. So old home week on this episode continues. Shavlina's going to be in goal. Harvey Vale's going to come in as our left back. Alex Guest picking up a knock in the last match. He's not fit enough to make the squad today. Akahoman and Bichiabu are going to be in the middle. Ivan Fresneda on the right-hand side. Midfield 3 of Blanco, Morales, and Burford is going to remain intact. Toshimitsu Endo will be on the left wing side. There's Moutinho on the right. And Emmanuel Omega is going to be the striker, completing our attacking triumvirate, which hopefully can beat Newcastle and keep the good vibes rolling. We come into this match in the number 5 position on the Premier League table, tied on points with 44 with Manchester City. We can hop above them potentially with a victory, but Newcastle getting the first attack. Costa getting it in for Coyote. Coyote with plenty of space, but he cannot solve Shavlina, who will direct that out behind for a corner kick. It's going to go on the far side. Sandro Tonali is going to take it. The in-swinger looking near post. Can't pick out Bruno Guimaraes. And Moutinho will clear. Van der Helden tracking back. Sven Botman with it along the left side. Back for Van der Heyden. Botman for Guimaraes. He'll put the shot on. Shavlina made a diving attempt at it. Luckily, it sailed wide. Currently in 4th place. Man City has 3 games in hand on us now. What is going on in Manchester that they are not playing any football? I don't even see them on the schedule for today. Short corner. Van der Heyden is going to skim that one off of the top of the crossbar. Not really a short corner, but it's one of those low corners to the outside of the box, which has been very challenging for us to defend all year long. 3-3, your shots on goal through the first 20 minutes or so of this match, and neither team able to fully break down the other, although looking at the number of highlights, things definitely seem to be going the Magpies' way. Scalvini knocking it to Inacio, keeping it inside their own defensive box. Scalvini looking for Coyote. Endo's going to block that one off and carry it to the inside. Oh, what a move, but not a great finish for Toshimitsu Endo. I mean, great dribbling. He got in there, but he could not solve Atabalu one-on-one. 4-5, your shots. 54% of the possession going Fulham's way. And we are probably going to head into halftime. Yes, we are. Tied 0-0. Possibility we may see Joe Jones coming into the midfield off of the bench today. We did recall him from his loan. He was playing pretty well. We just were like, hey, you know what? Might as well be playing for us. Fulham controlling it here in the second half. Akahoman will retrieve the ball, play it up the left wing for Harvey Vale, carrying it up the sideline. Finds Morales, spinning it in the middle. Fresneda on the underlap. Blanco back again for Fresneda, feeding through to Endo, and this time Endo hits it wide. He got it past Atubolu, so that's an improvement over the last time, but unable to find the target. Barco off of the free kick, 57 minutes in, settled down by Guimaraes, and Bruno Guimaraes, with his 4th goal of the season, finally able to solve Shavlina, and one of the teams has broken through. Unfortunately for Fulham, it was Newcastle. Great ball control by Bruno Guimaraes. Omega back, trying to challenge Shavlina, not taking the right angle, I guess. Our wings are not doing very well, so we are going to demand more from our team. Hopefully that pumps them up. Endo and Moutinho, neither playing very well in this match. So Ziggy Chandler is going to come in for Endo. Moutinho not quite 100% match fit. He'll be replaced by Omari Kellyman. And, let's bring Joe Jones in for Antonio Blanco, who's feeling a bit anxious. So is Bichiabu, but we're going to leave him out there. 20 minutes remaining. Harvey Vale to throw it in. Marco Morales, nice feed up for Ziggy Chandler. Runs into a bit of traffic. Harvey Vale with space into the middle. Kellyman's shot is going to be blocked, and Barco is going to regain control for the Magpies and send it forward. 9-8, your shots on goal in favor of Fulham. The match momentum has been going our way, but unfortunately we are on the wrong side of a 1-0 score, and Sandro Tonali in a very interesting position on this free kick. A 3-man wall in front of him. Can Shavlina make the stop? Doesn't need to. It's off of the post. Vale will clear it. Tonali taking it back in, gets it past his man, throwing it, looking for Vanderheitel. Clearing it away is Fulham, but unfortunately, Newcastle once again regaining control in the midfield. And once again, we will demand more from our team with just 4 minutes added on at the end. I don't think we're going to do it, and we cannot solve Newcastle. And Melvin Costa's new team gets the better of his old one. Not the greatest debut for Afonso Moutinho. Toshimitsu Endo also not having a very good game. Moutinho, though, on a 6.1. Ugh. So with that loss, no change to our position in the table. Still sitting 5th. Things have tightened up just a little bit in the race for the European places. Currently occupying a Europa League spot. Are we going to be able to hold on to it? Well, we're just going to have to find out as we move through later into the season. Hopefully it doesn't tighten up anymore as we look toward our schedule coming up. Chelsea away, Forest at home, Wolves away. The cup match against either West Brom or Bristol City. Not super duper interesting. Brentford, Leicester, we've seen them. We have not taken on Leeds in a while on camera. So maybe we come back for a home match against Leeds and then our old championship rivals in Norwich City. And that will leave us with 6 matches remaining in the Premier League after that as we continue our quest for European football. Can we get there? If we don't, do we stick around Fulham and try for another year, or do we look for a greener pasture? Well, those questions and many more, I'm sure, are going to be answered on the next episode. So thank you very much for liking and supporting and commenting. Everybody, you are fantastic. Thank you, thank you, thank you very much. And I will see you tomorrow. Until then, bye-bye.